Because locally, I think we're having some insane conversations that either directly or subconsciously are fueled by the new college football, the new NFLization of college football regarding Mel Tucker and the contract and the expectations. And people are going crazy. See, no longer can it just be what it is, a rebuilding year, a bad year, not a good time. But nothing has to happen because, well, that happens. So here's my question. I will ask everyone, not only in the room, but across Metro Detroit, whether you're a Spartan or a Wolverine. You need to give me two answers. And they might be the same, but I need two answers. In the current climate in college football, how much time should Mel Tucker get? How much time will he get? Let's get down to brass tacks. Everybody lobbing bombs, talking about the contract. So why don't you just tell me what you really mean? What do you believe will happen? What do you believe should happen? They can be distinctly different things, or they could be the same. But I leave that to you. We just saw Paul Chryst get blasted out. What was his record again? Can you give that to me?
Yeah, his overall record at Wisconsin was 67-26. He was 43-18 in the conference, 3 divisional titles, 6-1 in bowl games.
Gone by October 1st. They paid $11 million to get him out the door. They owed him 19. So, for all the struggles, yes, MSU's terrible this year. They are worse than expected. I expected 7-5, 8-4. They're worse. I don't know that they get to 5. I can be angry. I can demand staff changes. I can talk about being angry, but it doesn't result in he has to go. And what I don't like is the coded messaging. Oh, that contract. What do you mean exactly? Do you mean that he should get next year? Do you mean he should not get next year? Do you mean that he should be given 2 years, 3 years, 1 year? Set the rules of engagement of what you think should happen and what will happen. That's what I want to know. So I'll answer it first, and then Rico, and then all of Detroit can partake. Here's what should happen. And there's only one caveat. I will accept this year as a total disaster. He gets all of next year. Again, only caveat. It can't be a total disaster. For instance, they go a horrific, unbelievable Rico Beard outer space class 3-9 this year. A total disgrace. Next year they come back, go 7-5. He goes into 2024 hot seat. You either show me a good product, you either break through and give me a 10-win season, or I'm telling you, we have to talk about something else.
Right.
What will happen? Being that this contract is guaranteed, I think what I think should happen is what will happen. Now, he bombs out this year.
So the 2024 season.
It's bleep or get off the potty. Provided, if this year's a disaster and next year's a disaster, all bets are off.
Right.
I don't even get to 24. You can't win 7 games in 2 years. I'll give you 1 year to have an oopsie. But that's what I think on both ends. Where are you at with it? First of all, what should happen, then what will happen?
I was more so, 24-25. Now, going that you have a bad season this year and you start building back up, you're getting your guys in there. I'm giving you the old school standard 5 years, especially because you had to Zoom potential guys to come to Michigan State and your staff during the pandemic. I'm going to include that in there. So I'm giving them, the 24-25 season. Now, once again, 24 or 25.
Next year's 23.
Right.
Then is 24. Where's 25 coming in?
I said 24 or 25.
You don't get an or. Oh, you don't get an or.
I get an or. You blindsided me with this. You get what I give you.
This isn't Ponderosa Shrimp Night.
You get what I give you. You know what? Put both on the table. All right. So
I don't like what he just did. All right. Now what will happen? What will Alan Haller do, being that you talk to him every day?
I do not. But if this thing bottoms out, that's totally different. Now, if this thing, if they win 4 games this year, they win 4 games next year. And that's because 2 of the games are pretty much handed to you.
Oh, boy.
So that means at that point, then I think you're probably looking at buyouts. I think at that point, yeah, you're probably not going to see him lasting past next season, if that's the case. He's going to have to pull some rabbits out of the hat in order to keep that goodwill thing going. So, yeah, probably I'll give it 24. I think 24 is that time.
Okay.
Where you're on the hot seat. Okay, Mel, we're not beating Ohio State. You're not doing this. You haven't made it to Indianapolis yet. So this is the year you got to do. Either you beat the Buckeyes or you get to Indy.
And, guys, let me just be very candid, okay? It's very simple. The school is on the hook for his original deal. The new deal, billionaires came in and wrote the checks. Why is it relevant? Because the money doesn't mean anything. And if this product sucks and their name's attached to it, watch what happens. There, you think guys like Ishbia are going to sit there and watch 3-9, 4-8 seasons, and their name is attached to that? No, they're going to wipe the floor with that deal, and they will get out.
Yeah.
Period.
Especially with all the upgrades that they're about to make to all the athletic stuff.
Right.
That they're right. You need a product in order to sell to kids and alums and fans. You need something on the field, and
if stadium's empty, you got a real problem.
Right.
So, David, you're next. What in the new climate of college football? 5 Power 5 jobs are open October 1st with $60 million in buyouts from schools that don't have money. What will happen? What should happen? How much time should Mel Tucker have?
I think what will and should happen is around the same thing of what you all are saying, 24. And the reason why I say that is because 25, I believe, is when USC and UCLA joined the Big Ten, which means now the West gets tougher. And if you already can't beat Ohio State, you already can't make it through that gauntlet of Penn State, Michigan to get, well, you've beaten Michigan. But if you can't get to Indy, my point.
No, it becomes Ohio State or
Correct.
Indy. One of the things, because you need to come up with the players. You said we don't have the players to beat the Buckeyes.
Then go get them.
You've beaten Penn State. You've beaten Michigan. You don't beat the Buckeyes, you don't go to Indy, plain and simple.
Correct, and it's part of what you always say, Rico. When coaches speak, they put a target on their back.
Right.
Him saying that last year, we don't have the players to beat Ohio State, then you got to go get them. And if you don't, 24, that's it.
In all fairness, D'Antonio said the same thing. He went out and got the players, and you had the heyday of Michigan State football because he said, I got to recruit differently. I'm going to give him some time to get his guys in there. I think 24 is that time. If it bottoms out, God help you, man. Can't do nothing for you.
248-539-9797. Everybody's bumping their gums about Mel Tucker. Then come to the podium and be very specific about what you think he should be given versus what he will be given. It's right here for you. Just come on out and do it. David, go ahead. You were about to say something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, that is the caveat there. It's you cannot have 4 win seasons 2 years in a row here.
Right.
You cannot have that. That is unacceptable for any coach. I'm not just saying that as a Michigan fan. Oh, Michigan State. It can't happen.
David,
you can't do it with the amount of money that's
there
out
is.
there
And you
from the
can't-
networks. And
4, David, you can't win 5. You can't win 6. I got news for you. If they go 3-9 this year, which is honestly, I told you, if they lose to Wisconsin, my panic meter goes up, and I go, no, man, we're at a solid 5.5, 6. If they go 3-9 this year, you think I'm going to sit here and have all the feels at 6-6 next year? You're crazy. No, like you pay a price for bottoming out. 6-6 is a horrible year in today's college football because, as Rico put it, 2 of the wins are guaranteed.
Right.
And then you factor in the other gutter rats in this conference. You really went 2-6 against good opponents.
See, here's the thing.
Can't do it.
But, Mike, it's all relative because if it's 6-6 and they decide to make the move, and let's just say they put the freshman QB in for the final 4 games and he lights it up, and you're like, you know what? You should have been playing him the whole time.
There's definite scenarios you can build to make or break any point.
Right.
You're right. Or, hey, he ends up with a top 15 class this year, and then he's got another big one coming in. We've seen plenty of schools protect that and go, well, we got to hang on.
Right.
I just think you made the best point with the facilities, with the money coming in, with the commitment they made. It's asinine to discuss anything this year and anything next year. And the only reason I put the caveat in, it's what Rico said. If you bottom out and this thing looks like Carl Doral at Colorado, no, that's a different discussion.
Right. Because, see, here's the thing. With Paul Chryst, I didn't see it because he's done so much. Yeah, last year wasn't great, but my God,
do you know why?
5 games in.
When you lose the identity of a program, it happened to Rich Rod, it happened to Chryst, and it could happen to Tucker. Here's what I'll tell you. At Wisconsin, they pride themselves on the offensive line and running the football.
No.
And that's largely gone, right?
Wisconsin will never admit this, but I do think the fact, had they played Northwestern and lost, he's still the coach. They played Brett Bielema, who came in and showed
Wisconsin ball.
This is what I did when I was here, and
so you
this
know what
is
Mel's
what we're
problem
doing.
is? I'll tell you what Mel's problem is with a lot of boosters and with a lot of Michigan State fans. And I think some of it is direct. I think some of it is subconsciously.
He's black?
No. I think it is that Michigan State has always prided itself and predicated the identity of the program on defense. Always. Even when the Spartan teams are average, the coaches who survived it was defense. Coach D, defense. Perlis's good teams, defense. Like
Saban?
Say the defense. And then implosions on special teams where Roosevelt Colvin runs a field goal back. The point is,
Jeez, the stuff that goes on in your head, you should be curing cancer.
Right now, I'd just like to score a touchdown and see my team win a game. But no, if this Scotty Hazelton thing or the defense never gets turned around, I'm telling you, there's going to be a good portion of State fans that are going to come after this guy.
You know what? Here's the thing. Right now for Hazelton, I'm wondering, kind of like you with that Narduzzi thing. Like, does it get better with better players, or here's a window of opportunity, here's the off ramp, just take it, get rid of him, and move on? Because I saw improvements last week. They still lost. I understand. But I'm watching the defense and like,
yeah,
that was new. That was different. Okay. Kind of what we hope that Aaron Glenn does.
Here's the deal.
Use what you got to try to get better results.
As wrong as I was about Narduzzi in 2009, I don't think I'm qualified to answer it. I hate the scheme based on it's boring. I hate the scheme because I never find it confusing watching it. I know exactly what they're doing.
Well, I got to watch it because I know sooner or later you're going to ask me, I need you to let me know what's going on out there. I don't know. I'm to that. I look at Hazelton's history.
Oh, damn. Hold on.
Oh, ooh.
My bad.
I'll tell you.
My bad.